the push to get gender quotas for IPOs. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Heiser Says. Now, I've been trying to read Atlas Shrugged for some time, but I really don't need to because we're living in it. I wanted to share this article with you all from Stockhead. Now, this is a news source that reports on upcoming ASX listed companies. So, there's a push to block companies with no female directors from an IPO. Okay? Just dwell on that, guys. Dwell on that. Gender quotas limiting businesses' access to our stock exchange, to the ability to source finance. So what's happening with Silicon Valley, Social Justice Valley, is seeping its way into Australia's business world. And it is worse than you think. Now, I did a video a long time ago in July 2018, and it was called CEOs Against Men. And I'm going to share that card right now at about 1:10 and let you have a look at it. Go have a look. It's an older video of mine, so the beard's still there. But I look at footage of groups of CEOs meeting together and discussing quite arrogantly how they are going to do what they need to do. They need to work together to meet these quotas. And it's just sexist and offensive. It really, really is. And you've got to realize that is the mindset of these people. They're going and meeting in these little cliques. This is the part of their social outlet. There's competition between them because the CEOs are jumping from business to business. And they can claim, oh, I achieved this diversity quota, tick a box. But this is really even more disturbing. This is more disturbing because this is literally locking out a part of our market, a free market, from businesses that don't meet a diversity quota. So there is a new push to ensure that companies looking to join the ASX have women, Wamen, on their boards before they list. The Australian Institute of Company Directors led 30% Club is establishing a group with representation from investment banks and private equity companies, specifically those who advise on IPOs, that will look at a range of initiatives but ensure no companies going through to an IPO list without female directors. Now, let's have a look at Club 31. And remember, it was the Australian Institute of Company Directors that are leading this. And I've got a little story there to share. So, there we go. You can see it here. The 30% Club launched as a campaign in the UK in 2010 and has since expanded to 12 other countries. Accelerated progress has been achieved through the leadership of our member chairs and CEOs, in addition to the critical recognition that better gender balance leads to better results. 5 factors create a replicable formula for success. Now, can anyone who's watching find any evidence for me that better gender balance leads to better results? I cannot see that anywhere. It's similar to, and there's another video I've done, and I'll link to that here, about the gender spending gap. And this is where it's published and argued that women have more control over finances. And if you dig into the research, it all comes from a marketing company, so there's no academic basis to those claims. Intuitively, you'd argue it makes a lot of sense, but there's no academic basis to it. So I'm trying to find the basis for this, and I haven't been able to find it, to find that it actually make better results. What are the better? It depends on how you measure it. Is it achieving diversity quota? So if you set your own time frame, own time scale, or your own checklist, and you meet that, is that better results, or is it better results for the stockholders, financial returns? Because I do not think implementing these policies are going to make any difference. If anything, it'll have a negative morale effect on people. So this is the organization, and the 30% Club, and you can look at it. Oh, this is just the percentage of women in all these different boards, because they want the board jobs. They don't want the other jobs, and they believe in the gender pay gap. Okay, so they believe in the gender pay gap, and that's demonstrably incorrect. I don't know why we are still discussing this now. It's been proven false. It's fake. So that's the organization. And when I did my original video, I shared it on LinkedIn. I had a gentleman from the Australian Institute of Company Directors kind of snap at me, who I'd worked with previously who was a client with me, or he was a gentleman working in a larger organization that we'd worked with. And I'd made comments in the video alluding to the fact that there is a difference in the work ethic of young men and young women that I've noticed in my business. The young men would often step up and take on more responsibility. The young women wouldn't as much. I'd argue that that's probably to do with biological and evolutionary throwbacks to where the men need to achieve more, particularly at a younger age, to attract a mate. I believe in sexual dimorphism of our species, and that most things come back to biology if you really think about it. And he just thought I was being sarcastic. And the funny thing is, for his project, which was several years ago now, we had a very tight time frame to get something done, to meet a deadline so they wouldn't get in trouble with their staff over Easter. So who do you think of my staff were willing to do the extra hours and meet the time? I'll let you answer that one in the comments. So back to this. They will assist us in developing key measures for why diversity on boards is important that speak to investment bankers and founders, investors. So propaganda. They want to develop propaganda. We will connect them with executive search consultants and female directors so they have a pool of talented directors they can approach for board roles. And we will work with them on promoting the companies that are listing to female directors. What? Wow. Stockhead took a look at the IPOs done in the past year to see how many companies listed with women on the board. Nearly 62% of the 63 companies that listed in the past year did not have a woman on the board. Well, it's because you're taking a tremendous amount of risk in that role. Sure, it's financially rewarding, but you're responsible for it. And I was talking to Rachel about this literally 5 minutes ago because one of her goals was to go on a board when kids are done and all of that. And I said, well, do you really want to take the risk? Do you really want to get time away from your family and kids? Is it worth it? Because, not everyone wants to do these jobs, and often it ain't worth it. It isn't worth it. Because here's a little secret, guys, that I'm going to share with you. Money disappears. When you're dead, you can't take it with you. When you're all dying in your sick bed, your money makes very little difference. Okay? Oh, boy. Around 32% had one woman on their boards, while 6% had two. Yep. Only one company, gold exporter Yandel Resources, had female board representation of greater than 50%. Okay, you know what? I'm going to add this to my Google Alerts, and let's follow this company. Let's see if that makes any difference. I doubt it would. So, here's some examples of how many board members. I guess. Oh, well, hang on. We can look at where they've changed since the IPO. Whoa, what? 47? Is that 47%? Wow, down. So 80% down. They've got one woman and they're going 80% down. And I mean, okay, I'm just playing here. That doesn't make, can't make any difference between it. But anyway, those are all, that's pretty bad drops. I haven't looked at this in any detail. So the 30% Club was launched in May 2015 with a target of 30% women on ASX boards by the end of 2018. As of the end of February, 29.7% of ASX 200 boards were women, so they failed. The AICD has set a new target of 30% women directors on boards of ASX 300 companies by the end of 2021. So why do these people think, is it just this generation? Because this has to be the generation above mine. Do these old boomers, do they actually discriminate against women in their lives so they think that's why their women aren't on these jobs? They really think people don't have agency and opportunity now? Because what they're going to do is they're going to implement all this crap and they're going to stuff up the economy for future generations. That's what they're going to do. That's going to be the legacy of this boomer group up there. That will be their legacy. That's going to have greater implications than any of you hippies worried about the environment. This is fundamentally shifting us away from a merit-based civilization. That's dangerous. That's really scary. And that's when you end up like Venezuela and all these other socialist countries where people are starving and eating their pets. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit hyperbolic there, but that's where it leads. That's where it leads. I need a coffee. Although the 30% club only looks at the top 300 companies by market cap on the ASX, this is a good indicator of what small caps will have to aspire to if they want to become a bigger player. Why? Why does the gender of people on your boards make any bloody difference? Look at this. Female board member, down 70%, 69%, down 70%. And I'll just compare them to, I'll pick statistics. I'll look at that. No female, only down 20%. Female down there. We'll ignore all these other ones. They don't exist. We'll cherry pick. Isn't that what the feminists do with the wage gap? We'll cherry pick. So here you go. Female board members, having one on your board, has almost a triple negative effect on your IPO. It's statistics. Just ignore all these other numbers there. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I'm turning into a social justice warrior. Anyway, it is also likely that this push for more women will eventually flow down to the smaller end of the market. We are still putting the group together, Richardson told Stockhead. The Australian chapter chair, Nicola Wakefield Evans, thought we should establish this due to our new focus on the ASX 300. Wakefield Evans said the role played by investment bankers and underwriters in board selection would also be relevant as the focus shifted towards smaller companies and IPOs. Do you think this is going to drive people away from these markets? Do you think maybe this is why ICOs are more popular? Because you don't have all this political... Well, okay, they're not more popular, I know that, but I am encouraged by the idea of having a global stock market, not these ones shifted in little countries. But then the ICOs and the regulation around crypto is so open to abuse that it's scared a lot of people away. Flexible work, the key to more women. Oh, okay, so to get more women on these boards, you're changing the playing field. A new study undertaken by the Queensland University of Technology and Abbott Property Group has shown just how valuable offering flexible work arrangements can be to attracting more women in management roles. The study, Effectiveness of Gender Equality Incentives in Project-Based Organisations in Australia, was recently published in the Australian Journal of Management. I would be interested to see, rather than just looking at the effectiveness, if they looked at the impact on morale of the organisations. They're just looking at ticking a box because it's easy to measure. It's an easy matrix to measure. While gender equality in Australia is slowly improving, certain sectors, including mining and property, remain highly gender segregated, says Marinza Baker, a QT academic and Abbott Property Group marketing manager. To date, there's been little research to confirm that work-life initiatives had any real impact on gender equality in these sectors, with this paper the first in Australia to do so. The availability of work-life initiatives is a major determinant of employees' perceptions of organisational support for gender equality and may lead to greater organisational attractiveness for new employees. May. So that it's just all based on perceptions and what may happen. This includes things like amended start and finish times, access to part-time work, job sharing, and working from home. Okay, so can you have board members' job? I mean, the jobs aren't full-time anyway, so these board roles probably be perfect for them. The property sector is the second largest employer in Australia for now, won't be for long. Behind mining, won't be for long if Labor gets in and gets away from coal and other natural resources, directly employing 1.17 million full-time employees. Just look at that. So our two biggest employers are being attacked by one of our political parties. With negative gearing, that'll affect property development. I don't care what you say, it will affect it. And mining, no more coal production, no more power plants. It's all go to renewables. It's going to affect mining too. But just 4% of CEOs and 20% of key managers are women, with men making up almost all high-status, high-paying roles. Yes, because you need to be pretty much a sociopath to get to that point. You need to be a work-addicted nutcase. These people are not normal. Jordan Peterson talks about it. Okay? You can't have a normal person in those roles. You're not going to get there. Other initiatives. The AICD is launching its 6 Chairs Mentor Program in August. The program is AICD's flagship board diversity initiative aimed at arming highly experienced and qualified women with the right tools to become directors. Oh boy. So where can I go? If I want to become a board member, what can I do? What opportunity, what extra bonus things do they have for me? No, I'm sorry, I'm the wrong gender. I'm the wrong gender. I'm bald and white. Oh, they'd never want me there. This program has been really successful in connecting experienced and emerging female directors with ASX chairs and non-executive directors in a mentoring relationship. past mentees have enjoyed successful board directorships across a variety of sectors, with a number of them being appointed to ASX 200 boards. Okay, I'm just sick and tired of hearing all of this. I really am. The AICD monitors ASX 200 boards regularly and produces a quarterly report highlighting the stat. The organization is also investigating other projects focused on cognitive diversity on boards and the importance of boards being comprised of individuals with different thinking styles and perspectives. Oh, wow. They're going to have a moment there where they're going to realize that just changing genders is irrelevant. Or they're going to go off the rails and just push into identity politics. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be identity politics? Or do you think not? Do you think they'll allow diversity of political opinion on the boards? Wow. The 30% Club, meanwhile, is working on a Pathways to ASX 200 board rules report featuring insights from the 2018 male and female appointees. Okay, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think? I really am very frustrated. I'm not surprised. And I want to bring this to everyone's attention that this is happening in our organizations right at the top. They want to stop businesses getting access to the ASX with IPOs, initial public offerings, if they don't meet gender quotas. This is getting terrible. This is really getting terrible. We need to push. We need to argue. We need to push the Overton window. We need to talk about these things in public. It needs to be said that women are not a discriminated against class in Australia. We have legislation in place. It's just insane. Let me know what you all think in the comments, guys. Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Do you think I need to read Atlas, or I'm actually living it? Let me know what you think. Bye for now.